Hey guys, Will here with W.T.F car reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing the all-new 2024 Mercedes-Benz GLS 450.
And a big thanks to Nicholas and the rest of the management and staff here at Crown Eurocars in Pinellas Park, Florida for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to our inventory below, and if you're looking for a new premium or performance vehicle in the Pinellas Park, St. Petersburg, Tampa area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out. And as for Nicholas.
And for those of you guys who don't know, the GLS replaced the GL as Mercedes-Benz full-size luxury three-row SUV in 2016. The name change came as part of a facelift for the second generation. The third generation GLS that you see here was released in 2020 and facelifted this year for 2024, featuring a revised front bumper and grille, new interior color options, and new steering wheel. We also get an updated LED set of taillights, and both the 450 and 580 see solid power increases. The 580 is now up to 510 horsepower, 538 pound-feet of torque, enough to get this GLS to 60 in the low to mid 4-second range, and the 450 that we have here cranks out now 375 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. Previously, the 580 was rated at 486 horsepower and 516 for the torque, so that's a really solid power increase, and previously the 450 was at 362 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. So still a power increase, but not nearly as drastic as the 580. With a base price of $87,000, what else do we get for that money? Let's jump right in. So this is basically a base GLS. It's not easy to find such low optioned vehicles, especially in this segment, but here you have it. If you want to get the cheapest way into a Mercedes-Benz GLS, this is about it. We get the full LED headlamps though, with crystal bezels, black headlight housing. It says multi-beam LED on it with a large projector for the low beam. We don't get any functional airflow, but we get full front parking sensing and a forward-facing camera, 360, and a massive front Mercedes-Benz logo with a Mercedes-Benz logo also up top, part of the hood design. We get this updated grille. As you mentioned, it's a flat aluminum trim with gloss black behind it. Hopefully you can pick it up on camera, with supports in front of the radiator and intercooler right down below. Anyway, taking a step out to the wheel and tire setup, we get these beefy 21-inch rims wrapped in Pirelli Scorpion Zero all-season tires. They're an offset wheel and tire setup too, for a base 450 or just about a base 450. These are 275s up front, 45 for the sidewall, 21-inch rims, and I really like this multi-Y spoke rim design with the subtle gunmetal gray color with some silver contrast. Taking a step out back, we get a little bit of plastic cladding for the wheel well and rocker panel side skirt area. Personally, I kind of wish we had all body color, but if you end up taking this vehicle off-roading or to a campground, it's nice to get the plastic cladding to protect this beautiful alpine gray metallic paint from rock chips. We get some shiny chrome for the window trim, blacked out B and C pillar, aluminum for the roof rails, and hopefully you can pick up the massive panoramic moonroof right up top. We get 4-door smart access, body color mirrors with black contrast and an LED turn signal on them, camera to help us out 360 as a standard feature, blind spot monitoring on the glass. We mentioned the 4-door smart access and subtle shiny chrome trim, the rear wheel and tire setup, of course still 21-inch rims with the Pirelli Scorpion Zero all-season tires, but as you mentioned, these are an offset tire setup with 315s out rear, 40 sidewall, 21-inch rims. We get a subtle splash guard over here in the corner as well, side sensor to help us out with 360, updated LED taillights, and they look awesome, turn signals and reverse light in the center. We get full rear parking sensing. Shout out Crown Eurocars in St. Petersburg, Florida for helping make this review possible. 4MATIC badge in the corner, Mercedes in the center, dual exhaust cutouts, but as you see, the exhaust tips aren't in the cutouts. That's a small complaint. I kind of wish they were in the cutouts, but they're located right there underneath. We still get duals, and speaking of the duals, let's fire up this 3-liter turbocharged 6-cylinder and hear how she sounds. All right guys, that was the sound of the 3-liter turbocharged inline 6-cylinder engine with a mild hybrid system sold by Mercedes for the 2024 GLS 450. And it sounds okay, making a very healthy amount of power, now at 375 horsepower, just like the BMW X7, and 369 pound-feet of torque. A little bit down compared to the X7, but still enough to get this full-size luxury 3-row SUV to 60 in the low 5-second range. What we see is basically what we get. I appreciate the struts, but of course to be expected in this class of vehicle. The hood is extremely easy to close too. We can take a step over here to the side and check out the interior on an almost base model GLS 450. Taking a step inside, soft touch material up top, Burmeister audio system with some aluminum trim outside of it, heated and ventilated seats, and you can adjust the passenger seat as well. 3-person memory seats. The adjustments include thigh support. You can drop, lift, recline, and adjust the headrest. Aluminum door handle as well, gushy soft leather. For the armrest, genuine leather too. It is an option here on this vehicle. The genuine leather and the Alpine Gray paint color, I believe, are the only options we have here on this GLS. Down below, we still get hard plastic, which is unfortunate because the BMW SUVs give you some softer material, but really not a big deal. No felt either. You'll easily stack 2 or 3 footlongs on top of each other. You'll fit a big gulp in front. Trunk release, illuminated aluminum Mercedes badge or nameplate as we step inside, and we get these beautiful brown tan leather seats with beautiful graining, perforation, heated and ventilated as we mentioned, and you get 4-way lumbar control as well. Taking a step inside, we can really check it out. Foot on the brake, engine start stop, and everything fires right to life. But first thing we notice is the steering wheel. Very solid thickness, not the most 10-2 bolstering notch, but the 9.3 fits really well in your hand. It's not a flat bottom. We get some piano black for the frame of it. Rubberized horn area. The horn, loud and aggressive. People should be definitely getting out of your way. We'll do a window check, see if we get dual panes. We do not get dual panes, but it's a very thick single pane of glass. On the left side, we have a radar cruise control adjustments and the adjustments for this infotainment. You can see everything that we have available to adjust. Outside of it, we have a tach that goes to about 6,400 RPM, 160 mile-an-hour speedometer, fuel level beneath that, and the power to charge ratio for the mild hybrid system underneath the tach. Temperature outside, gear we're currently in, clock on the left side, and our lighting controls. The stocks have a really satisfying click, auto headlamps, auto high beams, and auto rain sensing wipers. To the left of the steering wheel, this is where we have our auto headlamps, with the adjustments for the fog lights right over here. Interior brightness 2, electronic parking brake, interior illumination, power tilt and telescoping steering wheel. Hopefully you can get a good look at the pedals. I like this stitching material for the entire dashboard. This Burmeister audio system is unbelievable. There's like 4 speakers built into the dashboard, and they all have their own bass speakers, and it completely shakes the inside of this cabin in a good way. We can take a quick look at the touchscreen. We get navigation as soon as it loads up. We have an illumination of a GLS. It shows us the Mercedes dealership is right over here. The response is excellent. The resolution is also excellent. Definitely one of the best in the business. We can check out the home screen. We get navigation, phone, radio, media, apps, comfort, off-road, info, settings, and smartphone. Let's check out off-road, see it's available here. As soon as it loads up, we have the drive, cockpit, score, pitch and roll, downhill slope recognition, the M, not quite sure what the M would stand for, but it is available, traction control, parking sensors, and access to the cameras at all times. You can see the front wheels and everything around it with a little 360 illumination right next to it. Throw it back into the home screen, information, you can see the consumption, vehicle, you can see the accelerator, brake pedal percentage, cool, brake pedal, same thing. Wow, this is like full press for me, and I can't get that thing to 100%. There we go, that's 100%. Nope. There we go, that's 100%. Wow, you really gotta press down on that brake pedal to get there, but we did it. You see pitch and roll, and for the engine, you get to see the current, power, and torque. Setting on the gas, you see how it goes up and down. That's probably my personal favorite to leave it in at all times, so we'll leave it there when we take this vehicle out for a quick little drive. Beneath that, we have more of that leather stitch trim. I like the slots here outside of it. We get some aluminum for the center with 4 air vents dispersed throughout the front seat. Awesome. And one complaint that I had about the new C-Class is just the same complaint that I had with the new iDrive 8 system in the BMWs. The climate control settings are only adjusted through the touchscreen. However, that is not the case here, so huge thumbs up to Mercedes for giving us hard buttons for both the vent controls and the temperature adjustments beneath that. To the left of that, we have our engine start stop with the auto start stop that we can disable for this review. Wireless charging pad, we can move my water bottle really quickly. We can shut this thing right up. It's a piano black trim, so keep your cleaning supplies at hand. Personally, I'd rather just keep it closed. We have 2 USB-C ports right over there, 2 large cup holders. You'll fit 32-ounce water bottles in there with no problem. And if you want to fit even larger cups, you can close both of these up and open it back up with a click of a button. If you don't want to get fingerprints all over the touchscreen, you can also use this trackpad right back here. It serves the exact same function. We have our dynamic mode controller. We have individual, sport, comfort, eco, and off-road mode. We'll start the review off in comfort, transition to sport, and just see what the differences are. You have access to your parking cameras, vehicle dynamic mode. You have your favorites too, navigation, radio, and telephone with the volume in a good spot for both the driver and the front passenger. Nice spot to rest your hand while you're driving too. You get these little grab handles, which are very soft leather stitch trim. Also a nice spot to grab onto while you drive. The materials here are also a very premium plastic feel or a straight up aluminum. More piano black in the center, adjustments for the air suspension. The gear selector is located to the right of the steering wheel. Check out the backup camera real quick. Very crisp, high resolution screen with a 360 right next to it, all with guidance lines and trajectory and front and rear parking sensing. You can see the different views. Also get a front facing view, back facing view, blind zone view, and you can also flip around and see everything around your 2024 GLS. Awesome. The same thing from the opposite side. And you can do an automatic 360 as well. My personal favorite would just be this old school backup camera, so we'll leave it there. And you throw it back in the park. You go right back to the previous screen. You haven't seen a lot of German vehicles do that. We saw it with the 2024 C-Class reviewed in this channel, but it continues here for the GLS. The center console opens up with a click of a button. It is spacious. You'll fit probably 2, maybe 3 1-liter bottles of soda in there, maybe even a 2-liter. But I don't know if you'll fit more than 1 2-liter. Maybe if you squeeze it in there. Additional USB-C port too, and a pretty soft leather material for the armrest. The material outside of the glove box is also a rubberized material, soft touch with some felt and a massive glove box. You're fitting 30, maybe 35 license plates in here with more interior illumination above it and stitching continued for the dashboard. We get a frameless auto-dimming rear view mirror with 3 garage home link settings beneath it. And that's about it for the front seat of this 2024 Mercedes-Benz GLS 450. Let's take a quick look at this window sticker, see any features I may have missed. You guys can pause, take a look, and as you mentioned, it's basically a base model. The only options are the Alpine gray paint and 1620 for the black and brown Bahia leather. Additional 550 for the soft closed doors, which is also a nice feature, but outside of that, it is really just a base model GLS. After an $1150 destination charge, we're totaled out a tick over 92,000 bucks. And for a full-size luxury SUV that's doing 0 to 60 in the low 5-second range, we're still getting over 20 combined MPGs, 19 in the city, 24 on the highway. We can put this window sticker right back. We also have a panoramic moonroof that we didn't check out, as well as interior lights that are LED. Awesome. With the panoramic moonroof, the shade opens up pretty quickly. And the glass is massive. We'll see if the glass opens up completely. The shade does take its time to open because of how large it is. The glass also takes its time because of how large it is. Cool. We'll see if it goes out any further. It does not, but just about to the end of the front row, we can poke our way out of here. Beautiful day today in St. Petersburg, Florida. Sunny and 82 degrees according to this 2024 GLS. We can shut this glass right up. Leave the shade open so when we hop out back, you see how much light is brought into the cabin, but that's about it for the front seat of this 2024 Mercedes-Benz GLS 450. Let's hop out back, see how much space is offered back there. Hop out into the third row, cargo space, and then take this car out for a drive. So we get soft touch up top to be expected, more aluminum, and seat adjustments for the second row. That I was not expecting. You can recline, drop, lift, and adjust the headrest for the back seat passengers. Aluminum door handle, auto one-touch window, and that brown and Bahia leather for the center and the armrest. You get a decent storage cubby down below too. You're not gonna fit, you might be able to squeeze a foot long. You'll fit 3 or 4 6-inch subs with no problem. You get an illuminated aluminum Mercedes-Benz nameplate as we step inside. The Bahia brown leather seats continue with decent bolstering. It's a pretty stiff leather, but that should be more durable for the long term. Taking a step inside, we don't get a grab handle for a full-size SUV. A grab handle would be nice, but we can just grab onto this grab handle and it assists us at least a little bit. But I'm a little bit over 6 feet tall, sitting behind my seat settings, and I still have at least 5-6 inches of knee room. The back seats also adjust. I can pull them back significantly further, and I have almost a foot of knee room. However, if you adjust the seat this far back, you're probably going to seriously compromise the third row legroom, but we'll check that out once we hop out there. In the meantime, I have a ton of space, headroom. I have at least 3-4 inches of it. The second row seat's currently in its all the way recline mode, and in this all the way recline mode, I feel like the absolute king back here. Unbelievably comfortable, unbelievably spacious. That's why you go with the GLS. That and because of the third row. Regardless, we can also adjust the headrest as we mentioned. Don't really need to do that right now. We get cargo nets behind both of the front seats, air vents, not only as part of the console, but also that blow directly in your face on both of the B pillars. We get full third and fourth zone climate as well. And these are all standard features. No heated or ventilated seats for the back seat passengers, but again, that is available as an option. 2 USB-C ports. The center cubby you can pull on this rope, and it's a true rear center console with a pretty decent amount of space with quite a few car accessories, crayons, coloring books, whatnot. You can also fit probably up to, I'd say, 24-ounce bottles in these cup holders. They pop out manually and individually. We get LED interior light for the back passengers as part of this grab handle. It's a pretty large grab handle. There's a hook for both of the grab handles behind the driver and the front passenger. That's about it though, guys, for the second row. Let's hop out into the third row. We may have to adjust the seat setting so it's not ridiculously far back like it is right now, but we'll see. Lifting this button, the seat should fold forward automatically. It takes its sweet old time, but to be expected with one of these electric units. I personally prefer the manual latches, but if you're spending $90,000+ on a luxury SUV, it's nice when the vehicle does really everything for you. Taking a step back here, the third row seats are also that Bahia leather material. Hopefully you can pick them up on camera. You can lift the headrest and set them in their place. Back here we have an additional 2 USB-C ports, a cup holder you'll fit up to a 24-ounce bottle, speaker, and a pretty large window for the third row passengers to look out of. We have a bunch of cargo hooks back here as well, and more leather stitching for where your arm will often rest. Same thing on the other passenger side too. To bring the second row seats back, you simply pull this latch back, and we'll see how far it goes. Again, I'm a little bit over 6 feet tall, so just put that into perspective for your respective height. So there we go, back into its original seat settings, but in its all the way upright position. And remember, this is as far back as this seat goes, and my knees aren't touching it. Yeah, I have like, yes, maybe half an inch to an inch, but my knees aren't touching in the second row. As you see, is lined up pretty evenly with quite a bit of legroom. Definitely can't complain for a full-size luxury SUV. This is definitely a more spacious version than a BMW X7. Not by much, but it is more spacious nevertheless. Headroom, I still have about an inch, maybe 2. To hop out of here, you push the same button that you pressed to bring the seats forward, and the seats immediately push themselves out of your way. Again, it takes a little bit longer than what if you had an actual hard button or a manual latch, but at this price point, as we mentioned, it's nice to have the vehicle do just about everything for you. Put the seats back, there's a button on top of the seat. You press it and the seat starts going back to its original setting. Unfortunately, you gotta press and hold. As soon as you let go, the seat stops moving backward, but not the end of the world. Anyway, let's hop out into this cargo space, see how much space is offered back here with the third rows up and with the third rows down. So the third rows up, as you see, there's not the most cargo space, and this step-in is really high. My knee is almost a foot below the step-in, so if you have older or smaller pets, it's probably gonna be a little bit tough for them to hop back here. But behind the third row, we get a little bit of secret storage. You can fit a little bit of secret stuff outside of your spare tire. You get this little cargo cover too. Cool. To drop the third row seats, you simply press this button and the seat immediately starts to fall down. You press the same thing for the opposite side, and now it also starts to fall down. On the left side, you can even fold down the second row seats. You press this button on the left side and boom, all the seats fall down automatically. I'll leave a link right here to show you exactly how much cargo space is behind the third row, with the third row down and with the second row down. But as you see, there is a ton of it. What you see is really basically what we get though. We have quite a few tie downs in the corners. Looks like a first aid kit over here. Nope, that's your fuse box. Not quite sure why that's so easily accessible. 12 volt in the corner too, so if you have an electrically cooled cooler, you can plug it in. All your stuff will be nice and cold when you arrive at your destination. To shut this trunk right up, there's 2 buttons. This button shuts it. This button shuts the trunk and locks the vehicle. We don't need to lock the vehicle, so we'll just shut the trunk right up, walk around this 2024 Mercedes-Benz GLS 450 one more time. It is a really nice luxury three-row SUV. Compared to vehicles like the BMW X7, even like the Lincoln Navigator, you're definitely getting your money's worth. And when it comes to a luxury version of a full-size SUV, I think this might be the best way to go. Performance-wise, let's take this updated 2024 Mercedes-Benz GLS 450 out for a drive and see what it's got. All right, guys, now we're just about seeing everything we need to see with the inside and outside of the all-new facelifted 2024 Mercedes-Benz GLS 450. Let's take it out for a drive and see what it's got. My first impressions, though, with a full-size SUV, it's a large vehicle, but it does not feel that way. I said the same thing about the BMW X7, how it just feels way smaller than it really is for a full-size SUV, and the same thing applies here, while giving you a completely different experience behind the wheel. The X7 does a really good job of feeling like a soft, plush, luxury SUV, but from what I feel so far, this feels like it does a better job of doing the exact same thing. Can it be as good of a performer? That's why we're taking it out for a drive to find out. But over the bumps, it feels very, very soft. And with just these single pane windows, it is an extremely quiet ride. And this Burmeister audio system, it sounds so ridiculously good. You're gonna be so well isolated from the road, it's not even funny. But taking a step out here, we're starting off in comfort mode. This guy is flying. Looks like we're good. Over the bump, you don't even know that it's there. Responsive throttle, there goes the window sticker. Lean into it. Ooh, that's good power. You don't even feel the slightest hint of turbo lag. That is really impressive. Over the speed bump, very soft, very responsive throttle too. Looks like a good opportunity to try an acceleration off the line. We're not going to floor it, but off the line, we'll lean into it about halfway. Ooh. Wow. Whoa. This thing has a lot of beef. It feels just as quick as an X7. I'll leave a link right here. I'm going to watch a couple of YouTube videos, see what a drag race between the two looks like, see what the real difference in performance is. I'm sure the BMW is faster. It weighs a little bit less, and it makes a little bit more torque. Same exact horsepower numbers, but as far as torque, it makes a little bit more. Let's try it out in sport mode. We'll try out these paddles, second gear on the gas. Woo! Good Lord. You look down and you are flying bumps. Might as well not even be there. Snappy downshifts. Brakes feel really good. Throwing it in. Body roll just about doesn't exist. Unbelievable handling. In sport mode, the steering, I mean, it gets a tiny, tiny bit heavier, but you don't really notice it. The biggest difference in sport mode from what I feel so far, it's just a slightly more sensitive throttle and an overall more responsive and snappy transmission. We can try it out through one more twisty over here in sport. Throwing it in. Yeah, I mean, the handle's good and it's super fast, but it's just, you don't really feel a whole lot through the wheel. Throwing it in right here. Nice. We can try out a real world turning radius test. Turning radius, oh my God, that is unbelievably sharp. Really sharp turning radius, guys. Whew. So much instant low end torque with this mild hybrid system too. Taking a step back out here, ride quality is unbelievable. So much low end punch. Brakes feel okay. They're not the best, but they feel fine. Body roll is very limited. Whew. Not bad at all. This throttle feels good. Really good. This is a powerful vehicle. Brakes one more time, throwing it in a little bit quicker. Woo! Coming out. Nice. Definitely gets up and goes. The isolation is also unmatched. Definitely a quieter ride compared to an X7. It's not as quick. I think the BMW X7 will be 2 to 3 tenths of a second quicker to 60. But if we're talking about less than a half of a second difference, who really cares? Either way, this vehicle's powerful. It is quick. You're gonna be doing 60 in under 5.5 seconds. It's good on gas. You're gonna be averaging over 20 mpgs.
comfortable, like top-notch comfortable. You'll fit 6'5" people in the second row, and you'll fit 6-foot passengers behind the 6'5"ers while having 7-footers in the front seat. It's that level of spacious. This is literally a competitor to vehicles like a Navigator, an Escalade, while not compromising the luxury at all, keeping the price relatively competitive, and giving you a way nicer, sleeker looking exterior and a power plant that can get this thing to 60 in just as quick, if not quicker, than the American competition, while handling like a, not sports car, but a way smaller vehicle than a full-size SUV from the American competition. If that's what you're looking for, guys, and you're not looking to spend over 85,000, 90,000 bucks, I would definitely recommend checking out the 2024 GLS. Would I recommend optioning the crap out of it? Probably not. I'd recommend keeping it as close to the base as possible. Right as I say that, of course, a Maybach drives right in front of me. I'm not sure if you guys will get a chance to see it on camera, but there's the Maybach right over there. Yeah, I probably wouldn't recommend checking out the Maybach unless, yes, you just have it like that. If you're loaded with money, and which, I mean, a lot of people that go to Mercedes dealerships, watch Mercedes YouTube videos, are loaded with money. If that's you, of course, check out the Maybach. But if you're looking for something in the $85,000 to $90,000 price point, you're not going to option the crap out of it. You want to keep it as base as possible. Well, here you have it. This is about as base of a GLS as you're going to get. The Alpine paint's $1,600. These seats are $1,700. Outside of that, this is the base, and I'll definitely recommend checking it out. And a big thanks to Nicholas at Crown Eurocars in St. Petersburg, Florida, for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to our inventory below, and if you're looking for a new premium or performance car or SUV in the St. Petersburg area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out. And as for Nicholas, and huge thanks to all of you guys for watching. I had a great time making this video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. You guys know the channel is not possible without you, and I really appreciate the constant support. But again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Leave a like too. It really helps me out the YouTube algorithm. That's how these videos get promoted to new people. Leave a comment. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like. Leave a comment. Let me know if there's any specific cars, SUVs, or trucks you want to see reviewed on this channel, and I'll definitely try getting those videos for you ASAP. But other than that, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope all of you have a great day.